I'm going to offer you a video today on how to pick a good therapist. Here's an interesting conundrum. Somebody who has 20 years of experience, but that you just don't get on with, you're going to make far less progress with that person than you are with someone who's got 20 hours of experience, but who you just kind of trust, that you believe in, that you resonate with. Okay, the relationship with the individual is paramount. It's absolutely paramount. So what I'm going to do, okay, most people, if you're going to work with them in a therapeutic relationship, they will offer you a chat in advance. So what I'm going to offer you is a sort of a checklist of things that you can consider, and you might want to just kind of hold that down on the table so that you can have a look at it and go through this with someone. So let's go with the basics first of all. Okay, most people will get this at a gut level, even if they don't consciously think about it. When you find a therapist, you're looking for someone who is genuine, someone who has respect for you, who understands you, who has empathy, who can put themselves in your shoes and express back to you their understanding of how you feel, and you can kind of go, yeah, this person gets me. Yeah, that's extremely useful. And you want someone who's going to do that in a manner which is warm, is caring, is kind. Okay? So that's kind of the basics. That's step one. But then the things that you're looking for, they're more subtle, but they're extremely powerful. Okay? You want someone, although they're kind, you want them to be confrontive. You want them to be able to express their truth to you, right? The reason that you're going to someone is, one aspect of it is a sort of a mentor, someone who knows what you're going through and has experienced their own examples and has seen thousands of other people who can say this works. So therefore they need to be able to confront you with things that you don't necessarily think yourself, right? The whole point of this is that you're going for solutions that you couldn't think of yourself. But the point is, you might not like it, right? There is a word which I love. It's just an amalgamation of two words. It's a carefrontation. Okay? So what you're doing is, with the best of kind intention, telling someone the truth, but they might not like it. Okay? So your therapist has to be comfortable inside of their skin to be able to speak their truth and run the risk that you never ever talk to them again. Yeah? And that they will not going to judge themselves on that basis. That's extremely good. Alongside that one, the second thing that you want to look for is, are they kind of clear? Are they concrete? Are they specific? Do they express this to you in a way that you understand, that is tangible, that you can walk out the door with a plan and go, right, this week I'm going to do that, right? Because you don't learn through ruminating, you learn through experience. So that's extremely important. Not only do they confront you with the truth, but they express it to you in a way that you understand, right? Which means getting out of their head and getting into your terms of reference. Okay. Here's another one. You want someone, a therapist, who is immediate. Now, what do I mean by immediacy? Because this is extremely important. You know, I said someone that's got 20 years of experience, but who you don't relate to, you're not going to make any progress. The reason I said that is because if someone has so much acumen, so much self-inflated ego, that they know how to fix you, and they are wedded to their process, and they've got a plan and a structure for how your session is going to go, they're not working with you in the immediate moment that you express whatever it is that you express. So you want someone who's got a lot of experience, but you want someone who is flexible in the immediate moment that they are working with you. So someone who's paying attention to you, not to themselves, not to their own thoughts. When they pay attention to you in the moment, then in the moment, they draw upon whatever tools that they have that are relevant and that might be useful, as opposed to coming with a structure where they try and fit you into it. Have you come across this phrase, when all you have is a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail? Yeah, I kind of like that phrase. You want someone who's got a massive repertoire of potential tools, but who's prepared to throw them all away and work for you in the moment with what makes sense for you. Yeah, to deal with what emerges for you in the moment that the two of you are connected. What else can I tell you? Here's another one that you want to look out for: potency. You want your therapist to be comfortable with the essence of them, so that they are able to express the full expanse of their power when that is appropriate. And similarly, you want them to be fully capable of acknowledging that they have no power when that is correct. So the thing with therapy is you hold the keys, not the therapist. Okay, the therapist isn't some magician that comes along that tells you what to do, you go away and do it and everything fixes. It's not how it works. It's a collaborative process where in actual fact you hold all the keys. That's incredibly important. So it's, you want someone as a therapist, therefore, who is able to go out on a limb and express themselves with utter authenticity at moments that you need that. But to equally take a step back and let you run with whatever it is that you're running with a sense of almost joy to watch that unfurling occur, even if it's got nothing to do with them. Yeah. So someone who's prepared to bring their ego to the fore when it's valuable and to send it to the back of the class when it's not valuable. Yeah. Allied with that, another one that you want to look for is what I guess I will call self-actualization. You want someone as a therapist who's done the work themselves. Okay. Now all therapists have to go through supervisions where they kind of learn about their triggers and what makes them feel good and what makes them feel bad, and the things that have hurt in themselves in order to become a more whole individual. Let's say that comes with supervision, because when you work with someone, it's possible that the issues in the client may trigger issues in the therapist, right? So it's good to have an open-minded sense of yourself. But ideally what you want is someone who has come from a place which is a little bit similar to what you are dealing with and has found their own way through it, right? Now, this is a controversial subject because now I'm getting into this idea of, do you find a career therapist, someone whose entire life has been spent helping other individuals? Or do you find someone who had that moment in their life where their own should became a must and where they succeeded, where they got through? Okay. Now you may be able to find someone who can relate to both of those things. But it's for me personally, it's extremely important to find someone who's done the work on themselves, who is therefore knowledgeable of their own fallibility, but can really, really put themselves in your shoes, and you can feel totally understood because they've lived it. Yeah. Here are a few other things that you might want to consider, especially if it's an unregulated environment, okay, a complementary therapy environment. When you're checking people out on the internet and they are putting up certificates of achievement, or that have got reviews on Google, or that are a member of an association, consider their motivation for doing so and bear in mind that any or all of that could potentially be bogus, okay? As a simple, blatant example, if I choose to do so as a hypnotherapist, to find 3 or 4 friends who are hypnotherapists, and we decide amongst us to create a association of hypnotherapy, okay, maybe regionally based or based around a particular criteria, we can do so, yeah? We can give it a big name, we can give it a shield, we can give it a motto, and it kind of looks good to somebody who doesn't know, yeah? But the point is, it's not worth the paper it's written on. It has zero relevance. In actual fact, what it does to a certain extent is show the desperation of the therapist to prove something which they are lacking, yeah? So if you're in an unregulated industry, no amount of being a member of an association really gives you anything that is of benefit to a client, other than perhaps some kind of level of continuing education. So just be a little bit cautious on that. Similarly, the certificates, okay, then look at who provided the certificate and are they valid? Are they relevant? Would you want to have been trained by them? Yeah? Google reviews, right? You can ask 10 of your friends to write you a review on Google. Doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying it's not good, but just have a healthy level of skepticism in the background. Oh, and of course the other thing with Google reviews is bear in mind that anybody who is coming with a very sensitive issue is not going to want to write a review on Google. Yeah? So you may come to a conclusion based upon the types of reviews that are written, which are not representative of the truth. For example, okay, if I work with people for smoking cessation, I don't, but if I did, okay, it's likely I might get 1,000 reviews from smokers, because there's no social taboo around admitting that you wanted to fix a addiction to cigarettes. If I work with 1,000 people on their insecurity, on their lack of confidence, their manipulative tendencies, well, they're not going to be as inclined to write a review. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So you may find a very, very skewed set of reviews that could lead you to the conclusion that the sort of thing that you're looking for, they don't work on. But no, in actual fact, it's just the sort of things that people will write a review on. Yeah. Therefore, what I find more useful when it comes to evaluating someone that you haven't met from the internet is, have they stood up on the parapet and expressed themselves in a way that strangers can evaluate and peers can review. Yeah, so that's kind of why I do these YouTube videos. Yeah, I'm trying to explain to you the type of person that I am, in order that you know if you resonate with that. And I have to do that in a manner which is kind of fearless, right? In the expectation that people are going to disagree, but that the right people that I work with will find me accordingly. Yeah? So you want someone who's able to express their truth, even though not everybody's going to like it, because that's just life, right? People are not going to like what you do, but if it's like being comfortable inside your own skin, effectively. So if you can find someone who has expressed themselves and who then the peers are grateful for doing it, okay, who's made some kind of progress in the industry, who's given something back beyond beyond the requirements of their job, okay? Who it's clear is there for the benefit of others rather than to ram their solution down someone's throat, that's very, very good. Oh, on the same subject then, anybody who is promising you a guaranteed result, be very cautious, okay? Anybody who's saying, well, one session should be sufficient and definitely 2 or 3 and you'll be done, all right? Why on earth would someone write that on the internet? Because they don't know you. They've got no relationship with you whatsoever. So someone who's saying that, it's a lie, okay? Because it is impossible to say. So be very wary of anybody who's making exaggerated claims, especially when they haven't got any kind of conversation with you. But even when they have, I just said before, you hold the keys. You will make progress in the way which is correct for you, in the manner that is correct, at the pace that is correct. And it has nothing to do with the therapist having some magical tool which just you're fixed. Doesn't happen like that, okay? I hope that's all useful, yeah? I've probably missed some things out. I've tried to be comprehensive. I've tried to be as unbiased as possible, but obviously this is what I do. So it has to come from a position of what I've learned as a result. Yeah, if there's things that I've missed out, or things that you misunderstood, or things that I haven't explained too clearly, or things that I've just like they're in the front of your mind and you're not sure about, write them in the comments below, and I promise you I'll revert back. I'll answer, or maybe put a separate video on that subject. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that's useful. What I'm trying to do is help you to make a decision which is in line with you, because you hold the keys. Yeah. You're special. Everybody is special and unique, and it's kind of hard to find someone that can resonate with that. Yeah, I think I talked on a few of the other videos about. You can see these videos on YouTube where people take a whole table's worth of metronomes, these things that they kind of count time for musicians, and they just whack 30 or 40 of them. So they're all completely random. 2 minutes later, all of the metronomes are vibrating in synchronicity. That's what you want with your therapist, okay? You want the two of you to be synchronized and to have established a sense of trust, and where this person is delivering something to you that you couldn't have found in yourself. That's it, right? And then the sheer desire to make change has to be sufficient for you to try something new. And keep on trying something new until you find the thing that's right for you. And for the therapist to be happy to fail and to keep on trying something new until between the two of you, you find whatever it is that works for you.